In this video, we will take a few minutes to create this rather cool yet very simple animation using Scratch. I'm assuming that you already you are already familiar with the Scratch developer interface. So we start off by bringing in the sprite, which happens to be a yellow ball. In my case, you can choose whatever you like, which we're going to use as the base to create the spiral animation. So the approach is to create clones of this yellow ball and rotate it, turn it, to create that spiral animation. But prior to doing that part of the code, we need to get the setup portion completed. So let's go into events, get the green flag, and then move the ball to the center of the stage by going to 0, 0. At this point, you want to bring in, if you go to the bottom left screen here, if you click on the add extension, you can bring in the pen. And the pen is what's going to help us draw the lines, as you'll see in a few minutes. You want to set the size of the sprite to whatever percent of original size. I'll go with 40%, 35 rather. Now we are ready to configure the pen before we start drawing. First, you want to erase any drawings that you've already created. It'll make sense when we do the code. The background will become cluttered very fast, so we want to avoid that. The next step is to choose a color for the pen, and then this is an important step. You have to call the pen down block to ask the pen to start drawing. And set the pen size to, I'm just going to go with 0.5 for. Okay, so there's not much to do. There's not much to show yet because we haven't written the part of the code that takes this yellow ball and then start creating the spirals. The next step is to add a forever block to the code. Inside the block, we want to tell the yellow ball to duplicate itself first, and afterwards, we ask the yellow ball to change the angle by a small amount. Let's see what that does. Now we can see that the new clones keep turning in place. Still not what we wanted. New block to tell each of the newly created yellow balls to move, say, by 2 steps. And that did the trick. So this block basically moved each of those clones 2 steps, and it happened inside a forever loop, which means that keeps happening till the program terminates. We're not done yet. As you can see, like all these yellow balls are stacking up against the wall, and that is not desirable. Let's try and change that. Now we insert a few lines of code within this block to tell the cloned yellow balls to destroy themselves if they hit the wall. And now there are no more stacking up along the wall. The green lines are being drawn by the pen that we placed on the stage during the setup phase of the code. We can add a bit more flavor to this scene by changing the color of the pen as the ball moves 2 steps forward. We can actually get one more variation by changing the size of the pen. We can break down what we just did into 3 parts of code blocks. The one-time setup, the part of the code that creates the clones, and turn each of the clones by a small angle. And the part of the code that tells each of the newly created clones to move 2 steps at a time and do so until they hit a wall. And when they do hit a wall, we ask the clones to destroy themselves. And we add a little more color to this by changing the pen size and the color of the pen as we went along. Thank you for watching.